The death toll continues to rise in the Blackwater murder inquiry. The 5 remaining amateur investigators followed the trail of the fictional killer and the £25,000 reward. Another suspect, the piano teacher George Howick, has been cleared. Now just 4 suspects remain. Richard and Rory were sent to play the killer's macabre game.
Richard returns.
Richard survived, to the disappointment of the rest.
If I started this game show again, with the hindsight, I'd probably try and be a little bit nicer to the other people, on the basis that if you stuck up to people a little bit more, they're less likely to vote for you to play the killer's game.
Everyone bites the dust.
Everyone bit the dust. Best man hopefully won.
My best tactic now would just be to get rid of Richard. I think he's the only threat.
Out of the 4 of us that remain now, I know that 2 of us have got to play the killer's game, and I expect, not hope, I actually expect one of them to be Richard, simply because the ill feeling in the house that he created last week is going to be repeated this time.
I suppose in one thing they might be dejected because they know that one of the stronger players has come back to haunt them and continue competing against them in this game.
The morning briefing is about to begin, and the investigators consider the evidence. The killer gave them a necklace that the victim, Catherine Pryor, was wearing when she was murdered. Catherine's sister, Goldie Pryor, was kidnapped, and the necklace demanded as ransom.
Goldie! Are you okay?
Just do what they want.
The mystery kidnapper escaped with the necklace, valued at a mere £6,000, but rumoured to be a priceless family heirloom.
Oh, Christ.
The investigators now know that the dead infant they found was the love child of Charles Wilmington and servant girl Dorothy. Suspect Trevor Doby's mother. The chief, Bob Taylor, arrives. He is a real murder squad detective with 30 years' experience.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Chief.
Richard returned from the killer's game. Rory was not so fortunate. Let's see who Rory chose.
I would like the next lead investigator to be Andrew Weaver. He thinks he hasn't enough confidence in himself to do it, but I think he's a good man for the job, and I hope he goes on to win the competition.
Andrew?
When Rory didn't come back, I'm really pleased that he picked Andrew. I think Andrew's got a lot of nice, sensitive skills, as well as a very clear focus on what we're trying to find out.
He's not a leader and never will be, but there again, he never pretends to be.
The worst thing that Rory could have done was to pick, I don't know, somebody like Richard, because we don't need another domineering lead investigator.
I think it'll be interesting at the case conference tonight, because he won't be very good at leading it, but there again, those of us that are remaining will help him through.
Right. Only 4 suspects remain. Goldie, Jay, Jennifer and Trevor. They all have a motive. Let's talk about the killer clue that Richard brought back from the killer's game. What is it?
Wilmington necklace.
Looks like a jeweller's drawing of the jewel he was about to make.
This is the original design drawing of the necklace. What does it tell you?
The necklace which Catherine was wearing at the time of her death was part of the Wilmington necklace, and that hanging off the bottom of it is a big pendant with 2 peacocks and a large diamond in the middle. And the necklace part which we had hold of is only worth £6,000. So the majority of the value is in that bottom part of the necklace.
Whoever took Goldie hostage now has the top part, which is what we've seen already, and the bottom part is still missing, or someone has it, to put the necklace together, which is worth the $2 million.
Do you think Catherine was wearing the complete necklace on the day that she was murdered?
In the video, the bottom part of the necklace was hidden because it was just down the inside of her t-shirt, so we couldn't see whether there was that part on there or not.
What we can't rule out is the fact that Catherine may have been wearing the complete necklace on the day she was murdered. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yes, Chief.
Let's move on to the other recent major development. Goldie's kidnap. Let's look at the kidnap message again. I've had the exhibits officer enhance the video footage.
I have been kidnapped.
It looks like there's books in the background or shelves.
What do you think, Richard?
Well, there's two words, what looks like two words there, which could be pillboxes.
Let's have a look at the sound enhanced tape.
Come alone. Tonight, 6 o'clock. Or I will die. Somebody, please. Somebody help me.
It's inside a house. There was some chiming going on in the background, like a clock of some sort.
It was like a grandfather clock
Yeah,
chiming,
it was,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Quite loud.
Yeah.
Where have we seen a grandfather clock?
Is there one at Creeksea?
There's one somewhere else as well.
There's one in the antique shop.
Jennifer Wilmington's antique shop.
If it is the antique shop, then as Mel just said, you would collect certain items together, and if you've got lots of pillboxes, you'd put them all in the cardboard box that has pillboxes written on it.
Right. Go confront Jennifer with the evidence that Goldie was kept in the antique shop. What does she know about the kidnapping? Right, let's talk about Trevor's mother, Dorothy. We discovered from Felicity Wilmington that Dorothy was the mother of the baby that was found dead at Creeksea, and that Felicity killed it. But my question is this: does the alleged murder of the baby shed any light on the murder of Catherine Pryor?
Dorothy was pregnant with Charles's baby, and the affair could have continued after Dorothy left the Wilmington service, and Charles Wilmington therefore could have been Trevor's father. If that was the case, then that would make Anya a Wilmington.
On the basis that Trevor is Anya's father.
If Anya's a Wilmington, Jay or Jennifer would not want their inheritance to go to Anya Pryor. So they would have killed Catherine, who knew that fact.
So who else would that give a motive to?
Possibly to Goldie as well, because Goldie is marrying into the Wilmington family.
Andrew, what do you think?
If the baby had survived, that would have affected the whole Wilmington dynasty and who was to inherit what.
The investigators are getting closer to the killer, but before they can move on, the chief has some news.
I had a phone call last night from the local farmer who owns the grain store where Tina Wells' body was found. It's been flooded. What do you think about that?
If the killer has done it, to remove any evidence means the killer's been back to that place.
I think we should check that out, don't you? Two of you need to conduct a thorough search of the grain store and bring back any evidence for analysis. The lead investigator will now join you in the field. So now the rules change. For the first time, the lead investigator is not immune from the vote and could play the killer's game next. You have to decide which investigator you want to work with.
I'll work with Richard, Chief.
Richard is the least popular investigator, but he has passed more lines of inquiry than anyone else, and he's a shrewd choice of teammate. So, Nick and Mel are Team 1. They must confront Jennifer about the kidnapping of Goldie Pryor. Andrew and Richard are Team 2. They will search the flooded grain store.
Remember, suspect everyone. Trust no one.
London Hall Farm, please, and don't spare the horses.
Hey.
I thought it was a very nice thing that Andrew did.
Oh, that's complete self-sacrifice, wasn't it? Take the shitty job and take Richard with me.
Yeah, oh, bless him.
Andrew and Richard are heading to a remote farm where, 4 days ago, the investigators made a grisly discovery.
Andrew, what's that?
Suspect Tina Wells was butchered and her bloody corpse thrown into a grain bin.
There you go.
This time, Richard and Andrew won't find blood. Instead, they're faced with 10,000 gallons of cold, dirty water.
Right. Nice.
How deep is that, Farmer?
Well, it's just over knee depth.
Just don't need it. Is there any way that we could drain this at all?
No.
Not at all.
No,
Okay.
not in the short term.
Where am I going to be in these? Jesus.
Well, at least it'll keep your head dry as well. It was a girl's pair anyway.
Thank you.
Think you found something?
What is that? Anything? Anything? You touched some out? You can stick your hand down here if you want. I'm going to get wet with you. I'm sorry with longer arms.
The same length gloves. My gloves are the same length as yours.
The test for Richard and Andrew is one of endurance. They must keep searching until they find the clue.
Right.
Too great.
Nick and Mel are on their way to meet Jennifer Wilmington. They must confront her with the evidence that Goldie Pryor was held hostage at her antique shop.
Ready for this one?
Oh, what? Are we here already?
Right.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, I didn't know that.
Jennifer with the evidence. So confront Jennifer with the evidence that Goldie was held at her shop.
How are you today? Who, apart from yourself, has access to your shop, to here, the antique shop?
To here?
Yeah.
Let me think. Well, just me. Oh, Trevor. Trevor does. Now, sometimes Jay locks up for me.
Could I just ask you, sorry, has Jay spoken to you over the last couple of days about anything involving Goldie?
Have you seen Jay or Goldie in the last few days?
No.
No contact with them at all?
No.
Okay.
Nick and Mel haven't confronted Jennifer, but they do ask to have a good look around the shop.
No one's been in here. I haven't been here for at least a couple of days.
Right. So what do you do in this room?
Well, I don't do anything with it, really. This is the storeroom. I just have odds and sods in here.
When was the last time someone came into this room? Do you know, have you noticed anything that's
Well, I
changed
haven't been in
the
here.
room?
I haven't been here.
You haven't been in
In the back room of the shop lies the test for Mel and Nick.
I just store things.
Jennifer says she hasn't been in the back room for days, but a copy of today's paper has been left on the desk. Jennifer leaves the investigators to have a good look around.
Well, that's that.
Yeah, she's making that she'll be. Nick, is this a crime scene? Should we be? No, it's not a crime scene.
In fact, Nick is wrong. It is a crime scene, and they have the evidence to prove it.
That's where she was. Right there. Chair. At the shop, I was like, there was a bit of sort of differences between us about the way it should have been done. I don't know, maybe it's me that understood the briefing wrong, or maybe it's, you know, him, but I did let him take the lead slightly.
Not so deep up here.
It was Mr. Purple with a red pipe. And you can see. Turtle Biscuit Company.
Is it a weapon?
Doesn't look like probably one to necklace to me, innit?
You have found a lot of stuff in here. What's this?
Andrew and Richard's search finally pays off.
One bag with a shredded letter in it.
That's my best experience so far, Richard.
Good.
Nick and Mel still haven't told Jennifer they know Goldie was held hostage in the back room of her shop.
Hello, Trevor.
And now she wants something from them. She's arranged to meet Trevor Doby tomorrow, and she's worried.
Bye. Now look, would you be here when Trevor comes tomorrow?
We can be, if you wish, yeah.
He can be very aggressive.
Is he threatening you, or...?
No, he's just, something's not right.
You feel
I've got
uneasy?
to tackle. Yeah, I do, and I'd feel safer if somebody was here.
Okay, sure.
Right, so she doesn't know that no one's broken in, and Jay and Trevor have got access. Okay.
Do you think we got everything
absolutely everything.
Yeah, is that I wasn't sure from that we were supposed to inform her that the kidnapping had taken place there, but I mean, she didn't know anything about it.
Both teams are back at the house. The topic of conversation is Richard.
He wasn't too bad today.
Does seem a lot better.
But there's still tonight.
Yeah, the day's not over yet.
In the evidence room, Nick and Richard attempt to make sense of the shredded letter.
It can't be serious that we're going to stick this together ourselves.
Well.
Wow. God, this is like a proper puzzle, isn't it?
It's slow, frustrating work.
Yep. Oh, bastard.
And when the going gets tough, Andrew leaves it to the others.
But mainly because I can't bear the thought of my precious jewel ever leaving the family. And that turns the up edge.
Which you have to wait a week for.
Tune in next week.
Yeah.
2 hours later, the letter is finally pieced together. It was written by Charles Wilmington just before he died. It is addressed to his son Tony, Jennifer's husband.
And it starts, Dearest Anthony, as my time on earth draws to a close, I feel I have to put my affairs in order.
The rumours of the Wilmington jewel are well founded. It is a spectacular diamond that I had set into a necklace for your mother. When she died, I couldn't bear for anyone else to have it, so I locked it in a bank vault where it's been ever since.
I want you to have the jewel, and I have made a provision alongside my will to that end. There is a condition.
I request that you keep the existence of the jewel secret from everyone. Never part with the jewel, and when the time comes for you to pass it on, give it to a child you trust.
As my only son, I implore you to keep this legacy alive. With my love, your devoted father, Charles Wilmington. And he says here that, you know, I've never approved of your choice of wife, so that's why Jennifer's never got to know it. So Jennifer, maybe Charles thought that Jennifer was a gold digger and was, you know, after the money, and that's why Tony's never released it.
So if Jennifer had no claim on the necklace, did she kidnap Goldie to get it?
Jennifer, what she had to say today, and how did you interpret that?
She knows absolutely nothing of the kidnapping, so she says. I mean, she could be a fantastic liar.
One of the things you said that Jennifer mentioned was there was something wrong with Trevor recently, as though he's a bit sort of, whatever, aggressive. Could that either be anger that someone has killed the mother of his child, or could it be remorse that he killed the mother of his child?
She gave us the impression that she was worried about him being aggressive against her in particular. No one else, just her.
Just her. Maybe Trevor thinks it was Jennifer that did it.
The investigators have uncovered him. But why was Catherine wearing the Wilmington jewel, a family heirloom worth millions?
Hi.
And why does Jennifer Wilmington claim to be scared of her lover, Trevor Doby?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Chief.
What did we find out yesterday? Team 1. You went to see Jennifer to confront her with the evidence that Goldie had been held captive in a shop. Did you confront her?
We thought that if we confronted her, she might not reveal a lot of other information that we still needed.
So you're telling me you did not confront Jennifer with the evidence that Goldie was held captive in the shop? Did you find the back room? The grandfather clock?
That's there.
Were you satisfied that Goldie was held captive in the back of that shop?
Absolutely, yeah.
Imagine. Put yourself in Jennifer's position, working in the shop. There's a kidnap victim in the back room. Do you think you might not notice that? Help! No? So why didn't you confront her?
She started telling us some new information that she's in fear of Trevor Doby. And so we started asking her why, and then she's arranged to meet him today.
and was asking for our protection. So we thought, we now know who had access to the shop, and that the new line of inquiry seemed more important as a...
What was your line of inquiry, Mel?
To confront Jennifer Wilmington.
And did you do that?
No, we didn't.
No. The killer's not going to give themselves up to you. Jennifer is one of these 4 suspects. There's only 4 left, and she's one of them. She might have buckled at the knees, confessed to the kidnapping and the murder. I'll tell you what, if I ever get locked up, I'd like you two to come and interview me. It'd be like a walk in the park. You've got to go for the jugular. It's a murder inquiry.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Chief.
What have you got to say?
Sorry, Chief.
Sorry, Chief. Team 2, let's talk about your line of inquiry yesterday.
Richard found a package containing a shredded message, and my 3 colleagues here did an excellent job on actually putting it back together, Chief. I thought they did marvellously well.
Were you delegating there, Andrew?
I was team leader there, Chief. I thought I'd better stand down from that one.
You didn't want to lead from the front on that one?
Not on that one, Chief.
All right. You did very well. Proud of you. Seem to have got something right.
Ooh, first bit of decent detective work.
Don't let it go to your head.
Got to celebrate when you can.
There's always another day to make mistakes. What does it tell you?
It tells us that the diamond exists, it is in a bank vault, and that Tony has always known about the existence and the whereabouts of the Wilmington necklace.
It tells you something else.
It also
tells you who Charles didn't want to have the necklace.
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Might there be a motive for Jennifer?
Does she actually know it exists? Because Charles had told Tony in the letter not to tell anyone, even his wife.
It's a good point, Andrew. Good point. If she doesn't know it exists, it can't be a motive, but we don't know that. The killer seems to be leading us towards the necklace. Don't you think? The killer sent the necklace to us in the first place. Where's the diamond now?
We don't know, but Tony Wilmington may well know the answer to that.
He might. And we're going to have to follow that up. So, Team 1, your line of inquiry today, want you to keep an eye on Jennifer. Tell her you want to set up hidden cameras in the shop. We know Trevor is visiting her today. Let's see if he reveals himself as Goldie's kidnapper or even the murderer. Team 2, you need to follow up the letter you discovered yesterday. Interview Tony Wilmington. Find out what he knows about the necklace and why was Catherine wearing it. Is that clear?
Yes, Chief.
You are getting near to the end of this case. You do not want to fail and be eliminated by the killer at this stage.
I thought the Chief was a bit more mellow this morning.
Mel and Nick's mistake could cost them the game.
And the other thing that was really exciting was sitting during the morning brief and realising that Team 1 have more than likely failed their line of inquiry, whilst Andy and I dearly hope that we've actually passed ours, which removes a little bit of the pressure for the killer's game. What are you doing upstairs?
They're upstairs. On the bed, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Talking about things.
Talking tactics about why they failed their line of inquiry. My predictions for tomorrow's killer's game is going to be that Team 1's going to be up for it, and that'll leave Mel, because I know Andy's going to vote for Mel, so I'll do the same. And then I think, if I play my cards right, that Andy will then nominate Nick.
Keep an eye on Jennifer. Tell her you want to set up hidden cameras at her shop.
I do think that it would have been a very noble thing for Nick to sort of stand up in front of the whole group and say, you know, my mistake. Mel did say that we should have told her about the kidnap, you know. He got it wrong, and it's like, you know, if only he'd listened to me, we could have got it right.
The killer's game tonight, the 2 people who I would like to participate in that will be Richard and Nick. I think Richard will be named in the group vote if both teams fell, And I'm going to name Nick because I think Mel has a good line of inquiry and she should be allowed to pursue that.
Mel and Nick are on their way to watch over Jennifer Wilmington. She is due to meet Trevor Doby at noon. They must quickly rig the shop with hidden cameras.
We're going to set up 3 cameras to observe what's going on when Trevor arrives. How long do we have?
I don't know, not long.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know how this one works?
Right, so that's the camera, that's the battery pack on.
Yeah, and then...
Second thing.
You alright?
Yeah, it won't take us long.
Getting worried over here.
Okay.
Either there or there. Going from that corner or that corner, or on top of this counter here.
Mind that plate.
Yeah. Well, that one's going there.
Well, he's going to see that, isn't he?
Shouldn't be too long now.
I'm telling you, if he catches us up, we've all had it.
Just in time, the cameras are in place and the investigators hide away in their surveillance van. Jennifer claims to be scared of Trevor, but that doesn't ring true. The investigators must watch carefully for clues to what is really going on.
Oh, it's been okay.
Yeah?
Have you got these?
Yeah.
Listen, yes, those investigators came around. They wanted to know who'd been in that back room. So I said that you'd been in there for the last, couple of days ago.
Hang on, no. I was in there a week before.
Well, they're asking all sorts of questions. So about the.
What did you tell them?
I didn't tell them anything. I just said that because I thought you were. I thought you had been in there a couple of days ago. So that's all I said. Well, listen, I could have said that you'd been in the church.
Well, why did you say that?
Well, you were. You were there.
No. You're telling investigators stuff about me. What are you trying to do?
No, I'm not trying to do anything.
You're turning your back on me. No, we've got stuff to talk about.
All right. Look, actually, I think you better go. I don't think we've got anything to talk about. See? The man's a lunatic. You see?
It's the killer and another 2 Polaroids with the locations for the next killer's game. The bottling plant and the boathouse. 2 investigators will search the locations for a clue. One of them will come face to face with the killer. Jennifer's son, Jay Wilmington, arrives.
Can't get out
the door.
Jay makes straight for the back room. He has no idea his mother's shop is rigged with cameras.
Jay, come back.
You've cleaned out the whole back room, yeah?
Listen, no. Look, just don't say anymore.
The bit's missing, man! The bit's missing!
What are we going to do, darling? You said you'd be okay. No, I'm okay. I need to talk. We'll talk in 10 minutes.
When he came into Jennifer Wilmington's shop and said the thing's missing, and really stressing, I think he was definitely lying about that. I think he has the other piece, but he's covering his back, pretending that he's really scared and stressed about what's happening.
I'll be in the pub in 10 minutes.
Seconds later, Jennifer Wilmington was at our van. We couldn't get out. We'd been locked in by the killer. And she helped us out and confessed to, doing the kidnapping.
Look, here's what happened. I knew about the kidnapping. Jay was involved.
Before you go any further, before you tell us anything, we have to caution you to let you know that anything you say will be taken down and could be used as evidence against you.
Okay.
Why do you want it?
Because it's worth millions. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But that doesn't make me a murderer. I've already told you, I did give Catherine a lift to the church the day she was killed. And we did have a row, but it wasn't about the music, it was about the jewels. Of course it's my business. It's a Wilmington jewel. What are you talking about?
She was wearing the necklace. I mean, I saw her.
Was it the full necklace
She was with the whole thing, yeah.
the big pendant?
Yeah.
How did Catherine get hold of that necklace?
That's what I don't know. I don't know. She wouldn't tell me.
You'd never seen it on her before?
No, I'd never seen it.
So
I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
So then you told Jay that you'd seen it?
Yeah.
Yes, darling, it's me. Look,
I've just dropped Catherine at the church, and she's wearing the necklace.
Where was Jay that morning? Because originally you gave Jay an alibi by saying he was at Creeksea.
Yes, I think he was.
So where was he?
He was there. So then I went to the solicitor.
What were you seeing him about?
I wanted to find out about the necklace, you know, how I stood. He wouldn't tell me anything. He said it was all in Tony's will.
What time was your appointment then?
I didn't have an appointment, I just went to see him.
Nick and Mel will have to follow up on Jennifer's new story.
I think that's it for now. We're going to be speaking to you again then.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent.
Spot on.
Yeah. Oh, so they were all in on the kidnapping.
I feel now as though we can't fail because yesterday's mistake turned in part of today's story, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we know.
Back at HQ, Richard tests out another theory on the case.
That could have been...
No, what was the rumour about Jay and Anya?
That Jay could be the father.
Okay, so in Tony's mind, if that's true, then what's Anya?
That's his granddaughter.
Yeah. I have no problems working with Andy. Andy and I are fields apart intellectually, but because Andy admits that, I completely respect him for it and I have no problems working with him whatsoever.
That's not a bad point.
He's only got
actually,
Julian. For me? What do you mean? I'm the only one who's ever come up with anything decent in this thing. Okay, so...
Richard, he's been an absolute nightmare. But having worked with him the last couple of days, he's toned down considerably. And if he could just be less bullish, arrogant, rude, loud and obnoxious, he might be quite a decent bloke.
Andrew and Richard are on their way to Creeksea to talk to Tony Wilmington. They now know he inherited the Wilmington jewel from his late father, Charles. Tony seems to be expecting them.
Oh no, I think it's those people again.
Please, let me. We've had come into our possession a letter. And it's a letter addressed to yourself from your father. And it was about the Wilmington necklace.
As you will know from my father's letter, I have had it in safekeeping to pass on to the child of my choice, in my father's words. I'm aware that people may think I'm not of sound mind, so I've been very careful with any of my dealings lately, recording any conversations I have with people's permission. And I have a recording here with you.
Thank you.
I want to show you something. You know what this is?
Oh, what is it?
The Wilmington jewel.
Oh, yes. In the portrait, the necklace in the portrait.
My father gave it to my mother, and I'm giving it to you.
This is a family heirloom. Surely Jay or Jennifer should have it.
There's a very good reason why I want you to have it. Catherine, I knew your mother.
I know you're my father. My mother told me just before she left. She made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone.
Does anyone else know?
No.
I want you to have the necklace.
I can't take this. It wouldn't be good for Anya and I. You see, Trevor wants Anya and, Trevor's Anya's father. It wouldn't be good for us to have it.
I promise you. Trevor will never have any claim on this necklace. I'll make a provision in my will.
So Tony is Catherine's father. That makes her a Wilmington, a secret she didn't want Trevor Doby, her daughter's father, to ever know. The revelation on the tape could turn the case. It is vital that Andrew and Richard find out if anyone else knew about the tape, and if Tony had made any copies.
Could we take that away with us, please? Should be very kind.
Yes, of course.
Tony, when was that conversation with Catherine?
It was about 4 or 5 days before her death.
And did she have the necklace complete?
Yes, complete with the Wilmington jewel. I gave her the necklace and also was arranging to give her £20,000 so that she could make a fresh start away from here.
Where did you keep the Wilmington jewel?
It's been in a safe deposit box for many years.
Is Catherine the only person who knows of its existence?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think we did exceptionally well with the questions. I mean, if you
Got
look
the
at
tape, which was the important
yeah.
thing.
And also, he's admitted he's Catherine's father.
Yeah, and Catherine knew this all along.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we've never thought, was that Catherine could have been Tony's daughter. We never, none of us have ever thought that. I think that Jay committed the murder, and I think he did this because he rightfully saw the necklace as being his, and he was trying to get that necklace off Catherine before she departed the country.
I think he's been lying to us about not knowing he was Anya's father.
And Tony Wilmington is Catherine's father.
Ah, I suppose no one knows that, do they? Because no one knew how Catherine got the necklace.
He's not telling us some like really valuable information. Like today, he hasn't even really told us much about what happened today. He went straight into the kitchen and started eating. I thought he was probably a bit gutted that me and Nick found out.
So that's what changed her life forever, the fact that she just found out.
And he gave her 20 grand.
I think Jay did it. I think he knows. Their brother and sister have been having sex with each
No,
other.
I don't think they have. Because she's always known. Catherine has known a long time. She would have prevented Jay from having sex with her, wouldn't she?
Why can't they bring us and tell us this information? It's so selfish.
I'd like to think I've been a bit better in this investigation than Andrew and Nick, so maybe he does see me as a threat. I hope he does, because I am. I'm better.
Nick and Mel have followed Jennifer's new alibi to the Wilmington family solicitors. She claims to have been at his office at midday, close to the time of murder.
Please take a seat.
Thank you. Jennifer told us today that on Monday the 11th she came to visit you.
Monday the 11th?
Yeah.
I think I can recall her being here, actually. I think she was here, Monday morning, I think she left about 11 a.m.
Right, okay.
It does become public.
If the solicitor's memory is reliable, Jennifer Wilmington has lied again. But Mel and Nick must not take his word for granted.
When people come to visit, do they log in or make an appointment?
They do, yeah. Yeah.
Will we be able to confirm what time she was here?
Yeah. Here we are. Oh, I do apologise. She was here on the 11th, but she was here from 11:40 to 12:30.
Okay, excellent. Dum dum dum!
What was it?
Jennifer Wilmington is cleared from the murder of Catherine Pryor. Your little missus is cleared from the murder.
Jennifer's got no claim on that necklace whatsoever. It was owned by her husband.
His theorising over who killed Catherine Pryor is driving me nuts. He just goes into it in too much detail and winds the rest of the group up with his incessant questioning.
The fact is that whoever did the murder wanted the necklace, didn't they? Or saw that the necklace should have been there in the first place.
Oh, my mind just can't stand anymore. Wilmington necklace.
Tony said that he gave Catherine the necklace and 20 grand for her to disappear for a while. Maybe the whole point was that she was going to be seen with the necklace. It was going to come out that she was his daughter. And he wanted her to disappear, so... Oh, she disappeared all right. Well, yeah.
Hello, Andy speaking. House fire creaks, the engines are there and paramedics. Oh, shite!
That's quick, guys.
They got it in for me today. Alright, yeah, alright. Yeah, alright.
I think we got the point. The house is on fire. Huh? Is there anyone in the ambulance at all?
I can't give you any information at all, I'm afraid.
Okay, no problem.
Don't worry, they'll find him. The firefighters will
You don't have any suspicions whether it's arson or accident? You don't know
I can't make any investigation starting at this moment in time until we get inside, really.
Yeah.
Have you gained any?
Hi.
Trevor? Hi, Trevor. Trevor, can you hear me?
That's Trevor and Felicity.
Yeah,
so
Trevor and Felicity.
Jennifer and Tony.
We know that four...
Just wait there for a moment,
Okay.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and see if
No problem. We know there's 4 people that live here.
While Richard and Andrew wait for their chance to enter Creeksea Place, the others are plotting. Nick is passing notes to Mel about his voting strategy.
That's exactly what I was going to say, definitely.
At the end of the day, we don't know how it's going to work out because we don't know who Andrew's going to vote for tonight. But we are hoping he's going to vote for Richard. And then me and Nick will probably work together and vote Andrew out.
It's definitely, it would work out like that, wouldn't it?
2 hours later, the blaze is under control, and Richard and Andrew enter the smouldering ruins of Creeksea.
Have you got any progress on them?
Yeah, they think there was a casualty. Somebody was hurt in these rooms, so we're looking for a casualty. They're bringing someone out now.
Yeah. Going to need another 3 feet to the landing, safe area.
The only person found in the house is Tony Wilmington, and he's clasping something in his hand. But will the investigators spot it?
Right, can you check his vitals? Right, Mark, can you check his vital signs for us, please? No, all right, can you get him downstairs?
I've got a letter. It's from Catherine. Dear Jay, now you've heard the tape, you know what I've known for years.
Good evening, everybody. I'm afraid to say that as a result of the tragic fire at Creeksea, Tony Wilmington died in the ambulance on the way to hospital. We know Tony Wilmington is not only Jay's father, he's Catherine's father. So Catherine and Jay are what?
Brother and sister. Half brother and sister.
Richard, Andrew, you went up to the fire at Creeksea. What happened?
We found a letter that was in Tony's hand.
Would you read it out to the group?
Certainly. It's dated the 9th of November 2002, and it says, Dear Jay, now you've heard the tape, you know what I've known for years. If I can forgive him, surely you can. Please don't take this out on him or me. I love you now, as a brother, and hope we can rebuild our relationship. Let's talk at the wedding. We can't let this go on. I love you now, as always, Catherine.
So what does that tell you?
Jay now knows about the situation, and Jay could well have told Goldie, which would give Goldie potential motives for killing her sister.
What do you think, Andrew?
I think Jay would be extremely angry, Chief. He is a full Wilmington, and it looks as though he's not going to get anything at all at this stage of the game.
Angry enough to kill Andrew?
He would be very angry, Chief.
Let's talk about another one of our suspects. Let's talk about Goldie. There's one person that we haven't spoken to who could shed some light on Goldie's alibi. Who's that? Nick and Mel.
Anya Pryor.
Catherine's daughter, Anya. So I arranged an interview with Anya, which was carried out by family liaison officers.
What you remember about that Monday morning?
Well, I got up and woke up Auntie Goldie.
When the investigators first spoke to Goldie, she claimed that on the day of the murder, she was at home with Anya, getting ready for her wedding.
Goldie said she needed to go out, so Goldie went out.
So Auntie Goldie left you on your own?
Yeah,
Was she out for long?
about half an hour. And then she came back before Grandad. And then Grandad came back about 5 minutes afterwards.
What do you think about that?
You know that Frank Pryor was at the petrol station at about 11:40, 11:50 and got back at about 12:20, 12:30. So if Goldie was out for half an hour, got back 5 minutes before Frank did, that means that she would have left the house somewhere around 11:45-ish.
How far is it from the church?
Not far, 10-minute drive.
10-minute drive. Does that give Goldie an opportunity?
Definitely. The video of the murder wasn't long at all. It did literally take 2 minutes to commit that murder.
You need to ask her where she went for that trip, Chief.
Exactly.
It's time for the chief to pass or fail them on their lines of inquiry.
Team 1, Mel and Nick. You carried out the surveillance on Jennifer's antique shop. What did you learn from watching Trevor when he arrived?
She says, I told the investigators that you'd been in here a couple of days ago, almost as if she was trying to frame him.
Was there some indication that Trevor may have been closer to the church than he'd admitted?
There was.
Jennifer just suddenly decided to confess that she had no part in the murder.
So you went to check Jennifer's alibi?
So we did.
Yeah.
And it does work out. She was visiting her solicitor at the time period that she said.
Jennifer is cleared. That was good work. But Mel, Nick, you let yourselves down on day 1. Hadn't you discussed what you were going to do? Did you make a conscious decision not to ask Jennifer about the kidnapping? There was a vital clue in that back room. You missed it. It would have told you that Jennifer was lying to you. You didn't follow your line of inquiry. You learnt nothing. I mean, I just have to wonder. I send you out on lines of inquiry, you don't do it. If I sent you out for a loaf of bread, what would you come back with? A chalk ice? Well, that looked good under the grill with a piece of cheese on it, wouldn't it? So I have no choice. I am failing you on your lines of inquiry.
Mel and Nick are both up for the group vote.
Team 2, Andrew and Richard. On day 1, you went over to the flooded grain store. What did you find?
A shredded document that had come from the Wilmington house.
You went to talk to Tony Wilmington about that letter. What did he reveal?
Tony revealed that he's had a conversation with Catherine. He had a tape recording of the discussion, and he played us the tape recording, and we subsequently took the copy of the recording off him.
That tape was vitally important in this investigation. The things that were on that tape were dynamite. Anyone that knew what was on that tape would be at the top of our list as a suspect. So what did you ask him about the tape? Shall we take a look?
Was that conversation with Catherine?
It was about 4 or 5 days before her death.
And did she have the necklace complete?
Yes.
She did?
Yes. Complete with the Wilmington jewel.
Where did you keep the Wilmington jewel?
It's been in a safe deposit box for many years.
You asked every question under the sun, but the questions you should have asked about that tape. Who else knew about the tape? Who else had access to the tape? Who could have played it? And how many copies there were? I'm afraid your questioning was not up to scratch. So Richard and Andrew, I'm failing you on your lines of inquiry.
Andrew and Richard are also up for the vote. With only 4 investigators left, they all get to vote in the group decision, and for the first time, the lead investigator can be voted for.
This evening I'm going to vote for Melanie. She's shown once again that through a lack of preparation, they've managed to fail a line of inquiry on some basics which, had they discussed it beforehand, they would have probably taken care of.
Chief, I'm voting for my teammate tonight, Richard. He should have spotted that at Creeksea with Tony Wilmington about the tape recording. It was, for him, that was run-of-the-mill stuff.
Tonight my choice is Andrew, and I feel that out of the 3 people that are left now, he has the least to offer.
Everything now rests on Mel's vote.
Who are you voting for tonight and why?
Can I vote for all of them? Andrew, I'm voting for because it still is the weakest investigator.
The first person to play the killer's game tonight will be Andrew.
Andrew gets to choose the second person to play the killer's game. He knows that Mel and Nick must have conspired against him, but will it affect his decision?
Chief, it's been a very difficult decision, but on reflection of what happened yesterday, and Team 2 made a basic mistake. The person I choose to join me in the killer's game is my compatriot in that, is Richard.
So, Andrew and Richard have been chosen. The 2 locations for the killer's game are in sealed blank envelopes. At one location will be a vital clue, at the other, the killer. The lethal location is predetermined and locked away in a safe. The chief has no idea where the killer will be waiting.
Boathouse, Chief.
The bottling plant.
Good luck. I think you are going to need it.
I was surprised. We didn't actually, the 3 of us, sort of say we're going to vote for Richard, but the general, vibes we were getting from one another that we were going to vote for Richard. That was not the case, and friends downstairs, who I can understand why they did it, they voted for me. But I wouldn't have voted for them if the roles had been reversed.
Wow. That means we're here at the end, doesn't it?
Yeah, well done, Nick.
Well done you as well.
God, I never thought I'd get to the final stage. I know that much.
I'm going to have to unpack my bag now.
Very noble thing that Andrew did.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely.
Just one question, if you don't mind me asking, why?
Yeah. Well, because we fucked up on that.
I know, but who fucked up more, us or them?
Yeah, you should have got that because that's right. No, you should have done.
No, I've never even voted for you. Ever.
Ever. That's because I'm the weakest link.
No, you're not.
Thanks anyway.
No, I think you've done a really good job. I'm really chuffed. I think you're one of the best people that's been here because you've actually not tried to pretend to be
Richard,
something
you're
you're
making
not.
me feel shit now. Shut up.
No, don't worry about that. No, but actually you're one of the people who's actually done this properly and you've turned around and said, well, you've done what you can.
Done what I can, Richard, that's true.
Hey, I think you've done good.
I shan't see you then.
Good luck.
Take care, Andrew.
All the best. Good luck.
Good luck, Andrew.
The 2 investigators travel separately and alone. Both are hoping to find the clue, but one will come face to face with the killer and be eliminated from the game.
Play the killer's game again. Let's see what we can do this time. Very straightforward so far. clock stopped falling over and machines stopped rolling. Or the door banged shut.
Oh my god! This boomerang.
I'm just amazed I'm here. I really didn't think I'd be here, and neither did anyone else within the group.
Andrew has beaten the odds again and survived the killer's game an incredible 6 times.
Just come there, you got to tell us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think of it. I got onto the boat and the doors were crashing either side. There was like handprints that smeared blood down the glass. And that's the way I gotta go, okay? That's the way I gotta go. Yeah. It was absolutely terrible. You two owe me a lot. Kiss. Kiss. Shake hands and say you're sorry.
I'm very sorry.
Well, that was a load of bollocks. Now I'll give you the true story. You buggers, you buggers.
I'm gonna kill you myself now, Andrew. You had me crap in my pants.
I want breakfast in bed, I want the washing done, I want the nice meal, I want you to solve the case and tell me who's done it.
Thank you for coming back.
Next week on The Murder Game. The investigators draw closer to the killer, and the killer ups the stakes.
This pit had been broken into by the killer.
But will it be Mel, Nick, or Andrew who finally solves the case? For more on the investigators, turn to BBC 3 Now for Inside HQ. Digital viewers press red now to see the clue Andrew brought back and see if you can solve the case.